Good day, everyone. Abraham Carranza coming to you from IM Studios. And we're going to start doing this. It's going to be a week at a glance. And what we're doing is we're going to be giving you guys a little bit of value. And throughout the weeks, we're going to be bringing different people on that have been learning this information and really shifting their reality and just bringing you guys some value. And we're also in different countries, and we're doing this work internationally. So we're going to be bringing you guys and adding you guys a preview to what that we're doing. And our goal and vision is to be doing this globally, and we're already doing that. So we've been taking the steps, and we have people globally having these life-changing experiences. We have businessmen and women accomplishing their goals, acquiring their visions, and ultimately becoming successful. And this is what we hear. It's the ability to become free. Ultimately, business is really the development of people, and business is a tool. And the reason I want you guys to really think about business being a tool is because that's all it is. We don't keep the businesses. We're just using these tools as the time that we're here. Yes, you can leave the tool for someone as you leave, but the business is just a tool. And it's a way to how to generate revenue. That's what it is. And the better we get at building business models and business tools that can work for us, the more freer we are. You know, many years ago I had a vision, and it was to have multiple companies. And in having that vision, it led me to understanding business, not only understanding business, but understanding the mind and understanding how people work. In business, I started to learn that it was about developing our people and developing our people within the company so that they could acquire their goals and their visions. And so the more I started to understand this, the more I started to see that at the end of it, we're really all looking for freedom. And when we can look towards helping others acquire their freedom, this gift just keeps giving. And it really takes a strong mental attitude to be able to become the man that you want to become. It takes a strong mental attitude to set a vision, to set a goal. It takes a strong mental attitude to make a decision. They're going to go into the beyond. They're going to go into the unknown. It takes a strong mental attitude to control their thoughts and not waver. Not waver. To hold their vision and continually, courageously take yourself towards that vision. Take the steps towards that vision. Create a plan and work your plan. It takes courage. It takes faith. It takes persistence. It takes desire. And then, of course, we have the higher faculties. So when we start to encompass all these laws and how we apply them, you'll never not just have one where you don't find another. So we're giving you guys this week at a glance. We're going to be talking about faith and desire. This next month, we're going to be moving into autosuggestion. Now, I want to tell you guys about the classes that we're having. It's Scaling for Life. The reason we have Scaling for Life is because I knew that I was changing. I know how you feel. I know how each and every one of you feel out there that is working towards something or wants to be somebody. I know how that feels. I was once there. And I can tell you what, it never ends because I want to be something more. And because I continually want to be something more, I am always working towards a new vision, a bigger, better self-image. Now, I once started off from nothing. I started off in growing up. We grew up in poverty. And in growing up in poverty, the very first thing you're noticing is that you have a lack of. Growing up, we had a lack of a lot of things. And because we had a lack of, I was always seeing the outside world that was experiencing I was not experiencing. So I know what it is to want. I know what it is to work hard. I know what it is to do labor. I remember working for peanuts for many, many years. Now, I know how you feel. But I could tell you one thing. You will never know how it feels to be successful until you make the decision to be successful. This is what changed my whole life. I decided that I was going to be successful. And because I decided I was going to be successful, I then had to decide in what. Well, some of you may be thinking, Well, what can I be successful at? It is up to you to decide, but you got to do the work. And whatever you decide to do, you have to create a vision, and you need to know what that is. Then you have to stay steady working towards that vision. Are you going to go study somebody that's doing a minimum of what you want to realize? Let's say if you wanted to own we'll go with one of the companies, a tank and vessel company. Would you go and ask somebody that just started a tank and vessel company, or would you ask somebody that's already weathered in the tank and vessel company? Somebody that's already been working, that's already has 20 plus, 30 plus, 40 years experience. Who would you go ask for advice? If you're wanting to become a tank and vessel company, go find the men that have done it and that have done it successfully. If you want to become the owner of a meat factory, are you going to go ask the man that is barely making it, or are you going to go search and find the men that know what they're doing? Right? So whatever it is that you want to become, and whatever it is that you want to progress in life, and that you can see yourself in it, you want this area, you want this field, you want this company, you want this business. You've got to go find the men that are doing it. And I promise you, when you find men that are successful at what they do, they will gladly take you underneath their arms and they will help you. Because there's a time period whenever you finally do become successful, it takes the unlearning and relearning period. I've been going through this over and over and over again because I'm continually setting the bar higher. But that learning and unlearning period and relearning is whenever you have the exponential growths and you're no longer working in the company, you're working on the company. Those men that are working on the company or have become investors, those are the men that you want to find. Because those men are the men that are going to teach you and even teach you how to do quantum leaps. They're going to tell you what they've done. They're going to tell you what not to do. And I guarantee you they're going to show you how to skip a couple of rungs along the way. Why? Because they know what works. They know what doesn't work. And they have proof of concept. Now, I did something fairly broad, something fairly big as far as owning a company. But I took the same method working my way through the companies. I never had very many jobs in this lifetime. I've was a tire man, went to mechanic, and then from there to management, and same company. So two real jobs, two companies that I work for. But in that time, every time I was wanting to do more and have more, I looked up towards someone. This is why it's so important to have a mentor. This is why it's so important to have people that you look up to, people that you want to work towards being, because you're looking towards a self-image. You're looking towards a vision. You see, when you grow up in poverty, there's not many things that you know of or know how to do. Your environment is going to tell you how to get what they have. But if you want something more, you've got to go out of your network. So that's one fundamental key, is going out of your network. Your network right now will give you more or less what you've had in the past. Your network right now of influence and people that you know will more or less get you the same results, maybe a little bit better. You really want to get out of your network. You want to get out of your environment. Go find people, again, that are getting the results that you want to achieve. Now, this all requires a vision. I always go back to the vision, because the vision is the beginning of all things. Everything that I achieved, I always had a vision of the individual I wanted to become, and I looked towards that person, and I would look and see what they did. I would look and observe what were their habits, what were their behaviors, what were their responsibilities, right? Habits, behaviors, responsibilities, and what were their outcomes, right? So when you start to build the vision of the man you want to become or the woman that you want to become, you need a what? You need an image. You need a vision. So in doing this, I would take on this image and this vision of this individual, and I would look and see how I need to develop me. If I wanted to be free, I've got to be me. And if I want to be free and I've got to be me, I better know who me is. That means I had to learn and adapt. I had to learn and be okay with adaptation of becoming whoever it is and whoever it was that I had to become. Now, that means I had to consent. I had to decide, make a decision, a mental decision, and then carry this out in actions. Now, the moment I made a decision to acquire that position, I needed to understand the position. Then I had to work towards that position. Then I had to act and walk and talk like that position until I became the position. Now, I'd done this twice. Inside the companies, I worked through several positions, and then I made a quantum leap where I went to run my own company, to build my own company. Right? So every one of these adaptations was not just an adaptation to say I'm just moving along doing things. I am adapting a vision. I am adapting a what? A prototype. I've got to build a physical prototype that I've got to see myself as, but I've got to build the spiritual prototype of who I have to become. That means I've got to see it inside myself to become the thing that I want to become. Now, this is where imagination and focus really come in. But you'll never have imagination and focus until you have the right vision. So you want to have the right vision. Build the vision. Build what it is that you want to see. See yourself inside the vision. And then start to understand the vision. What is it that you've got to do? Who do you have to become? What activities do you have to demonstrate and get really damn good at performing, right? So as we start to take the vision gives us our desire, what we want. The images helps us build this vision, helps us build the acquired understanding we need. Because when you begin to imagine, you're getting hints. You start to attract information that you need, the people that you need to talk to, the places you need to go to find that information. You start to find the circumstances to adapt. Adaptation of what? Your inner speech. Because your inner speech ultimately becomes your what? Your actions. So as you start to adapt and adapt to the ideas, right? These ideas, you start to understand what it is that you have to do. The doing is where you get the real understanding. Some of you may have already started a business or started to work in a business or wanted to leverage yourself and work your way to the top of the business. You will never understand a thing until you do the thing. So those of you that are afraid of doing the thing, guess what? That means you're saying you're not willing to adapt. And if you're not willing to adapt and do the things that you have to do to become, to understand, you won't achieve. There will be no success any further than where you are. Now, I know that you want. I know that you want, and I know that everyone out there is wanting more. Now, the way we adapt is by understanding. Adaptation and suggestion to the vision and the image that you want to see in your life. All this month, we've been talking about, and this week we're going to be wrapping it up. We've been talking about vision, faith, desire, and we're going to be moving into autosuggestion. Now, next month, autosuggestion is tying all these together, but you'll never find one and not find the other, because they all correlate, they all work together. It's understanding how to apply them. It's understanding how not to get in your own way, because we do this very often. Now, in autosuggestion, an autosuggestion is a suggestion from yourself to yourself. Now, a lot of you really have not autosuggest your way through life. How did I get the vision of becoming the tire man? An autosuggestion. I started to think of what I could do to earn money. I picked up the idea. Then I went and acted on it. As I'm doing the tire business, working in tires, I started to want more. I wanted more. I wanted to be more, have more, see more, achieve more. I wanted to experience life at a different level, which each and every one of you do. I know how you feel because I wanted to do this. Want was a prerequisite to desire. In wanting more, I started to get ideas, and I started to find people that were earning more, doing other things. Then I had to choose what other things, according to the amount of revenue they were earning, on how I would adapt and take on these new habits, behaviors. right? So here we're going back to the same thing again. I had to adapt, willingness to adapt and let go of the old business I was in. That means I had to let go, and then I had to consent and adapt to the new habits and behaviors to develop the result, the revenue streams that I wanted. And in doing this, I consented. I went off to the drilling rigs. And as I was there, I had to adapt and learn. And if I was unwilling to adapt and learn, I was going to have to go back to where I had come from, right? So again, I started to adapt and learn, and fairly quickly, I decided I didn't want to stay there for too long. I didn't see a future that I wanted to stay in. So again, I'm wanting and desiring more. So then I start to think of how I can earn more or less the same amount of revenue, but work in a different environment. You see? So here you're seeing an individual that is willingness to adapt, his willingness to unlearn and relearn new behaviors, his willingness to overcome and to learn. I know how you feel. I've been there. I wanted more. Somewhere deep down inside of me, I felt like I would be somebody, and I wanted to be somebody. But again, I had to build me. I had to invest in me. I had to work on me. Nobody was going to do it for me. You see? And as we begin to see and understand this, you'll agree. And you're probably agreeing with me right now. There's limitless potential inside of each and every one of you, inside of you that's looking at this right now. Limitless potential. Why haven't you decided? Why have you not decided to select an image and a vision that you want to work towards and start working towards it? I can tell you I know what it is because I've done the same thing. Fear, doubt, worry. Who are you fearing and who are you doubting and who are you worrying about? This goes back again to what? Your self-image. You're wondering if you can do it. Now, I had to bet on me again. This is called responsibility. I had to be responsible for my thoughts. I had to be responsible with giving myself a command. And by taking responsibility, I gave myself the ability to what? Bet on me. So many people, I've heard people blame all and every outside circumstance. Let me tell you what. I had every reason why to blame everything outside of me. But really, it was nothing outside of me. I could have blamed it on my environment. I could have blamed it on the people around me. I could have blamed it on the people and the places I was raised in. But I accepted responsibility and accepted the responsibility to choose and select the image I was going to work into. This is what has helped me develop myself and go beyond where I've ever been. I started to go back and research me. Why was I changing? Why was I able to attract the people, the places, the circumstances, and adapt to the scene that I had to create the first company? How was I able to do that? How can I show you to do that? That's the key. You see, whenever I started to work on me, I was learning something about me. When I started to learn something about me, and I started to learn that I could pick up a book, and if I studied this book every day to a definite end, that I was going to change me. I never cared to read. I hated reading until I was finally interested in change. I want you to think about something. You're probably not interested in reading either. Is it because you don't think you can change? You hadn't decided to change? You haven't found something worth changing for. That all goes back to your beliefs. I started to research and study because I wanted to be more than I was seeing. I saw my environment. I didn't want what they had. I saw the people around me. I wanted more. And now I'm telling you, this came from a man that was earning $16,000 a year, $19,000 a year, $20,000, $30,000, developing himself. If I can do it, you can do it. I picked up a book to a definite end. I did everything on purpose to change me, to adapt, to become the man I am today. I had to work on me every day. Why did we develop Scaling for Life? Because I knew that if you really wanted to change, you've got to work on you every day. And you've got to be willing to look at you. You've got to be willing to face that man in the mirror, that woman in the mirror, and take responsibility for everything that's happened in your life. And when you can do that, I can show you how to go wherever you want. If you can see something inside of yourself, I can help you draw it out. I've done it. We've been doing this with countless others, and they've been adapting. They've been changing. Money, it's a result. You can earn as much as you want. I can teach you how to do that too. What do you want? We're doing this not just to do it. We're doing this because we enjoy doing it, and we want to help millions of people all over the world. Scaling for Life, every Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're doing these classes to keep you sharp and focused, to keep repetition in the screen of your mind. Why? Because we learn through repetition. After the age of 5 to 7, the only way you learn from here forward is through repetition. That's why you had to say A's, B's, C's, D, E, F, G over and over and over again till you adapted, and then you could recite them on your own. You could say it on your own. Now, again, you've been conditioned to think in a certain way. Guess what? If you're not willing to change and adapt and learn something new, your conditioned way of thinking has already conditioned your behavior. And it already has conditioned results. You can see it. The question I'm asking you, are you ready and willing to change? A lot of you may say, yes, I am ready. Then take the action. Do it now. Take the action and do it now. Just a little week in advance, couple of weeks in advance, we're going to have another class. We're going to be having another seminar. And that's going to be on the 21st, I believe, 24th. I believe it's on a Thursday, 6 p.m. We're going to be having our seminar on autosuggestion. Now, any of you guys that sign up for Scaling for Life is $150 a month. Anybody that signs up, you get your guaranteed seat here on the platform. Everybody that's signed up gets a guaranteed seat in here until they fill up. The goal is to get these seats filled. The goal is to help people see their goals all the way through. The goal is to see you change. Again, if you're ready and willing to work on you, we have the information. And we can teach you how to do that in 6 months, 1 year's time. Our business matrix, we do 6 months, 1 year, and some individuals we've gone up to 16 months. The average individual is taking about a year to a year and a half to develop themselves to make those shifts. Now, what if I told you that you could be earning minimum 3 to 5 times your income in a year from now, year and a half? Would that not be worth it? The investment of investing in yourself could change your whole life. And I know that anybody that would commit to doing this work, I know that you're going to change. And there's not one person in here that has committed to do this for that year and a half, year and 6 months. Everybody has achieved over three times their annual income. If you're not doing that, I don't know why you wouldn't bet on you right now. But you've got to do the work. All this was just a little gift for individuals that are out here looking for this information. We're looking for you. If you're ready, we're here. If you're studying with us, glad to have you, and we'll be talking some more. We'll stay tuned. The forward lessons and the months at a glance, we'll be bringing you guys live footage from Argentina. We'll bring you live footage from Iran. We'll be bringing you live footage from different areas where we have individuals that are being impacted by this information, and they're going to be sharing their stories. So everybody have a blessed day, and we'll be talking. Thank you. Zach? Are we off?